Hello everyone, welcome to another video. This is gonna be another speed build, and I was thinking about this build a lot. Today is the 1st of April, which means it's April Fool's Day, and I wanted to build something fun. There are a lot of things that came to my mind, and I was thinking about mischief and pranks and everything, but at the end I decided to build a residential lot, which is also a small business. And that business is something like a small shop, comedy club, a coffee bar or cafe, and also a bar where you can have some drinks. So it's a lot at one place, but let's get into it. If you were to my channel before, you know that I like to build micro homes, tiny homes, and generally smaller lots. So I didn't want to go super big on this one either, but it is a fairly decent size of lot. So I will have the building and I will have also outdoor space there. I wanted to build something slightly modern. That's why I'm using a lot of stuff from Eco Living and all other packs which do have more modern kind of style of furniture and decoration and everything related to that. Here I'm placing stairs and the door which will lead to the unit, which will be upstairs. So it's kind of like apartment upstairs, but it doesn't work as apartment. It is just one unit where your sim will live and downstairs will be the business. I wanted to divide it, so I have entrance to the unit from behind, but you can also go through. I am using wall tool to define where the restrooms for the guests will be. This business is not very big, so I have just 2 restrooms. And now I'm placing windows, and I was struggling with that, but I really like these, so I wanted to use them. Normally, I don't usually place like a big windows because I feel like it takes so much of space from the building, but as most of this building is small business, it doesn't really bother me to have big windows because I want as much natural light as I can have in here. I did say before, if you know me, you know that I like to do small buildings, tiny buildings, micro homes. But if you don't know me and if you are new to this channel, welcome here. My name is Lucy. I love to play The Sims and all sorts of other games. And in case that you are enjoying gaming content, please consider to subscribe to my channel because it helps me to grow and I really love to do this. And I also love to have some feedback from you. So I would really appreciate if you could comment down below what do you like about this build. And if you will decide to subscribe to me, thank you so much for that. Right now I am doing the floor plan of this residential unit. It will be 1 bedroom, an open plan dining / living area and kitchen, and 1 bathroom. Now I'm moving downstairs. I wanted to divide slightly that entrance to the toilet because I always feel like it's usually covered. So we have this room divider and I'm placing a column in the middle because there was a weird gap and I didn't want to scoot it. I'm also making like a podium here. So the sim which will perform will be a little bit higher than everybody else. And I place the microphone. Your sims can come there and tell jokes. They can also practice singing. Every single action that they can do with the microphone, they can do there. I am placing some seating because I was having this idea that it's like a small comedy club, if you know what I mean by that. And I feel like it should have some fun colors. Again, it's 1st of April, April Fool's Day. So I just went for like a bright, very different colors and I love this, how it looks. Then I placed some more seating spaces along the divider and I'm scooting with the furniture a little bit to make it more compact. I placed the ceiling fan here, but you will see it in a little bit that I will remove it. And I was also thinking that we should have some speakers here as I was pretending that it's gonna be connected to that microphone. However, it actually works like a radio. You can play the music there. I'm just moving the ceiling fan right now because I found the light that I wanted to place there and it's gone now. So the ceiling fan is not in the build. I also placed the jukebox there just in case that there will be no one performing. Your Sims can listen to some music. I am placing LED lights here because I feel like there is not enough of light. And around toilets it's usually very dark in any club, so I wanted to make it practical and I didn't want to have it very dark there and your Sims can easily find the spot. Now I'm just slightly decorating the area here, and I don't usually use these kind of posters or pictures which have really crazy colors, but in here I feel like it fits quite well. And also because it's supposed to be a comedy club, we need to have a sad clown on the wall. I was thinking about all the objects and items that I don't normally use and about the wallpapers that I don't normally use. So both what you can see I don't normally build with, but again, if I can't use it here when it's building related to April Fool's Day, then where else I should ever use this? Like, generally when I build, I use a lot of muted colors. I do like neutral colors in real life and also when I build, but it's a game and we should have some fun stuff and there is a lot going on here. Now I'm moving to furnish restrooms. It's very simple. We have toilet, we have sink and some basic decoration. I'm actually really sad that Sims cannot use these like towels and soap dispensers. That would make the game much more realistic, but at least we have them as a clutter and we can clutter our rooms and make it look and pretend that it works. Sometimes I'm not really sure what kind of color scheme I want to use, and here I was just thinking, should I go with the brick wall, should I go with just a paint, and I ended with just like a plain paint. I will change it a little bit later to match upstairs, but for now it was working. I'm moving to the other area, which I was thinking that I could make like a store or a small store with some kind of items that would be fun. Mostly decorational, and I will be placing into the display like toys and stuff related to that. I was just thinking it could be like a souvenir shop or something like that, because we will have the cafe there, and I was just having this idea in my head that it could work and we could have a shop there, as well as a place where they can order some food, some drinks, and they can take it around. You can see I'm placing into the shelves whatever I can see that can fit there, and you have all different themes there, but it's supposed to be related to like a mischief and fun and some kind of decoration related to maybe Halloween. I'm placing the freezer bunny collection that we could collect before, because maybe it's like a collector shop. I don't know, it's about the fantasy, isn't it? But at the end it worked. I think it looks quite nice, but it's up to you, and if you have a better idea what you would sell there, let me know in the comments. I also placed the cash register there, but it's not functional because this is not a business on its own, so the cash register is there more for a decorational purpose. But normally if you place that not into the residential business but into the actual business lot, that would work. Now here comes the fun part. I always love to do custom kind of roofing, if you want to call it like that. It's not gonna work as a roof, but it's more like a pergola, so I am using the fence to make this mesh or a grid, and then I'm gonna get rid of those spaces in between and have it open. I will decorate the top a little bit later in the video, and if you want to see it, you have to wait because it's one of the ending parts. And because I wanted this area as a bar, I'm placing one there. I wanted to match the fencing from Businesses and Hobbies, so I chose the bar which has these kind of string lights around, and I feel like it looks really nice and cute. I want Sims to be able to sit down with a drink, so I'm placing some seatings and also some tables. And I'm just playing around with the space where I want to have it. Now we are going inside and I placed some lights there, and we are back to the terrace. I'm decorating the tables and we are finally moving to furnish the unit. If I can give you one advice, it's best to start from the smallest room because you are finished sooner and you feel more satisfied. So if you have a trouble to continue with your build, start with a smaller room first. So I'm doing the bathroom as the first thing from the unit. I like quite modern furniture, so I'm using this one. I think it fits well, quite nice. However, they are from different packs, but I think it's simple, it has nice lines, and it fits well together. I don't have super big bathroom, so I don't have like a laundry basket here, nor washing machine in this entire build. So I'm just thinking, because we are the small business owners, maybe we are supporting another small business owners and we are taking our laundry somewhere out to wash it in the town. You can see the color scheme that I chose for this bathroom, which is very neutral and blue. I'm gonna go back later and change the color of the tiles, but for now I am doing the kitchen. I really love this one particular kitchen because it has nice swatches, and don't worry, I'm just placing lights so you can actually see. Sometimes I build without it and I really apologize if I start without the light. I am trying to do that as a first thing, but sometimes I forget. But I hope that I will get better with this so you can actually see what is going on. I placed the kettle in there because I don't usually use a lot of appliances in my kitchens, especially because I built a lot of tiny and micro homes. But in here I felt like I have enough of space to put at least some appliance, and I feel like everybody has the electric kettle. So yeah, that's one of the appliances that I managed to fit in there and I chose to have. Another light under the cupboards because I feel like there is not enough of light when you are in the kitchen and trying to prepare some food. If you don't have something directly above you, it just bothers me and I want as much light as I can in the real life. So I did the same in the game. Now I am choosing the color for the wall. I chose tiles behind the kitchen, but for the rest of the apartment or for the living area, I went for the like neutral beige because you can combine it with some other colors. And you can always add a lot of colors with decoration and with your furniture, and you can put some pillows there or rugs, and then you already have a different vibe. In a lot of my builds, I'm using a lot of furniture from Dream Home Decorator. It's one of my favorite packs because of the furniture that you can combine quite neatly together, and you can see it here too. And in general, I think it's one of my most favorite game packs. I also really love Tiny Living Stuff Pack, and I said that before in a previous videos that I like to combine those two together because I think that they go quite well together. And in general, I feel like every modern home has quite a lot of sectional furniture, and I also love this custom seating that you can make with this pack. However, I wasn't sure about the color. I chose yellow at the end. Again, I feel like when you have a small space, you need some bright colors in the interior, so I went for a different one. But the kind of blue/green that I had there before on the couch is also one of my favorites. But as I said before, it's a small space and I needed something brighter. If you are a big The Sims fan and you play this game for a fair amount of time, you know that when the game started, you were not able to utilize these tiny nooks and crannies and spaces, the tiny spaces in the bookcases, etc, etc. And I'm really glad that they managed to add another slot, so you can fit quite a lot of stuff in there, and now you can decorate your builds much better without using either bracket keys and raising the stuff up and moving with the furniture. So yeah, I'm really glad about that. However, for some cases you still can't avoid that. I'm in the bedroom right now, and again, I know that this is not very typical, but I like to do this kind of sectional furniture together, and I was thinking I'm gonna have a wardrobe, but I will also use these hangers, and I have some like open shelves. So yeah, I feel like I do really like vibe of this bedroom, and I would like a bedroom like that myself. So that's something that I would always go for, and I feel like a lot of storage and storage units are very important for any smaller buildings. So we are utilizing the space quite well. I don't know how about you, but before I start building, I always decide who's gonna live in the house or apartment, or in this case, in this unit. So I know that it's gonna be a female sim, and that's why I'm choosing colors that I'm choosing. I don't know if a male sim would decide to have colors like that, but it's a female bedroom, so that's why everything is like a pastel colors. And I'm trying to fit some decoration which can go quite well there too. One important thing for any building, and I mean also in the real life, is enough of natural light. And if you don't have enough of natural light, at least put quite a lot of lighting. So I have different sources of light here, and you probably didn't notice because I edited that out, but I was struggling with the walls for that bedroom. I was originally going for like a floral pattern, but then it didn't fit well with the rest of the apartment. So I chose very plain, kind of maybe boring color for the wall. And because I wanted to have the colors more united, I also changed the color of the tiles in the bathroom that I was talking about that before. You maybe didn't see that properly, but now you can see that I changed that to kind of like paneling, and it's much more neutral, but now it's more together. It just goes better with the apartment vibe. So I am moving outdoors. We're gonna be going between inside and outside now, but more or less I'm gonna be working on the outdoors area. I always think about how to use the space again, and in this particular case, this lot is very big. It is 40 by 20 squares, and I wanted to fill the space up, but also to not make it too like busy. So I decided to go with a fake parking lot, which I'm designing right now. And on the left side, you will see in a second, I'm gonna do a small playground for kids or maybe adult sims, because your sims can use swings, for example. The world that I'm building at this particular build is San Sequoia, and if you do have this DLC, you know that close to this lot where I am right now, it's like a water park for kids. And because this is outdoor space, even if it still belongs to my lot, I wanted that lot to kind of blend into the surrounding area. So I am doing that playground just to make it look like it belongs to the neighborhood and everybody can come there and play and do whatever. I don't know how you feel about playgrounds in The Sims. I still miss quite a lot of items. I wish there were more possibilities, there were more activities that kids could do outside. And I feel like I would love to have slides, I would love to have more of the monkey bars and more of the tree houses, for example. And I know that in general there is a fair amount of activities that kids can do, but I just really miss this one particular thing, which would be like a furniture or the activities for the playground. anything that could just make them active and just be outside. I would really love that. If you use the sand like I did under that slide, kids can actually build like sandcastle there. You need to have a space for them, obviously, so make it big enough and they can play in there. And your adult sim can also draw in a sand, so that is another fun tip. If you didn't know that, just get your terrain tool, use the sand, and kids can play there, build sandcastles, and adults can play too. I'm also placing these lights around because I feel like it's cute and it looks nice, and I think it's also needed to have some light when it's dark. However, I'm not expecting kids sims to be there playing in the dark, but yeah, in general I just like quite a lot of light and I think it fits there nicely. Here I am designing the area for the bins because I originally had them next to the wall of the building, but I feel like when it's separated it's probably better, more neat, and also if you can imagine the smell of the bins, maybe it's better to have it slightly away from the building. I think another tip for every builder is that if you want to make your building look more interesting, play with the different levels. Like right now I'm placing a platform outside and I'm designing a tiny area in front of my business where Sims can sit down, maybe have a drink from the inside and just chat with their friends. I'm also putting signs so everybody who's walking around can know that here is the business inside. So I hope that they will come and stop there for a minute. I'm also placing a vending machine behind the building because there's nothing worse than you being hungry in the middle of the night, so anyone can make a stop there and buy something to eat. Because I have quite a lot going on this lot, I didn't want to have many trees, so I placed just one. But I think that there is quite a lot of greenery, so it's not a problem. I'm gonna do like a custom fencing, probably. Would you call it like a fencing of this like sand pit? I don't know. So I'm using the debug menu for this and just making the outline with planks around it. Honestly, I have a really lot of sense for detail and it was bothering me so much that it wasn't outlined properly, but I didn't want to close it with fence, so I did it like this. And now I'm just working on some tiny garden slash landscaping area around the house because it never feels finished if you don't have some greenery around, and it always makes the build much better if you focus on the outside area. Like I used to do this a lot as a mistake, that I built a perfect house. I would spend so many hours to do the interior of the house, but then I would spend like 20 minutes on the outside because I personally never liked that much. I am a person who used to grow up in the apartment, so we never had like the outside around which belonged to us. So you know, it is a personal thing, I guess. So I had to focus on that when I started to building houses, that I have to invest that time to outdoors and make it look nice, because it's never complete if you have just nice building but no landscaping. So bear that on your mind, that you should always invest some time to spend outside and not to focus on the interior only. I made another platform outside with more seatings, and here, that's something what I was talking about before, I'm moving to decorate this custom roof slash pergola, and I'm placing there some greenery, which I'm pretending that it just grows around it. In general, I like quite a lot of builds with like eco, theme, lifestyle. So I feel like when there's a lot of greenery, you can't go wrong. And I feel like plants in general make people happier. So let's surround ourselves, at least in The Sims, by a lot of green stuff. I'm just finishing this build with some more light. Here I am placing few lights around the car park too, because if you are going in the evening, you just want to see what is going on. It honestly looks really nice when it's a nighttime in The Sims and you have some light around. So don't be afraid to use that just to make it look a little bit different during the day and during the night. I'm placing some more bins here because I don't want litter around. And then I'm just looking inside that I want to finish and do some small finishing touches here. I am decorating the area a little bit with some posters. I'm gonna also place the seed in the air because I feel like if there's someone who is actually selling, however, for a small business, you don't need anyone who's gonna sell the item. This is more about it looking realistic. But yeah, it's gonna work without the vendor. It's just whatever you place into those shelf units, it's gonna be sold. Sims will just buy it and you don't need to have a vendor. Here I'm decorating the area a little bit more because, as I said, it's a coffee bar here. So I'm placing some more mugs. One small tip for you, if you are having this coffee bar in any of your small businesses, don't forget to place in public area some sink, because if you will have someone who is gonna be working for you, they need to have access to clean stuff somewhere. So if you don't want them to go to the bathroom to wash it there, place the sink close to that coffee bar, so it's much easier for your employee to do that job. And now I'm finishing with the lights outside and a bin next to the bar, because you never know when you want to throw something, or I would say throw someone, but I don't think that you will fit anyone into the bin. So yeah. I'm also placing some solar panels here just to make it a little bit more eco. And now I already moved my sim in there and I'm registering a small business so I can playtest the build and see if everything's functional. It's gonna be called Jokes and Cups because we will have people coming in there telling jokes. So I'm selecting the activities which should be fitting to my particular build. I chose to be funny, be mischievous, browse and buy items. And then I'm also choosing to do the comedy, and also I'm choosing to drink bar drinks because I want that bar to be functional. You don't have to choose drink coffee to make that coffee bar work, so don't worry about that. If you want to know which business activities are available in The Sims Businesses and Hobbies, I have the entire video on my channel which is related to that, and you can see the list of all the activities. And now let's have a look around how this building looks. You can see some screenshots of the entire build when it's finished. This is the apartment unit, so you can see how it came together. And now I'm gonna also show you some in-game footage. That's my sim which is preparing some cocktail right here. She's not very skilled. And she's also using the vending machine. She bought some pizza, I believe. And now she is having her business open. You can see it works. That's the first customer who came there and started to tell jokes. Here are some more people ordering drinks right now. Not just one, and my sim is famous, so that's why this lady is going nuts about her. And yeah, this all works. And I hope that you like it. I did have a lot of fun, but it was also tiring. My sim already fell asleep on the floor. She just shut the business and she's going to sleep. One more time, guys, if you are not subscribed to my channel, please consider to subscribe if you enjoyed this build. Give me a like and comment. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope I will see you next time. Bye!